UFC 307, let's talk about it. We are back in Salt Lake City where the man of the year, Alex Pereira, faces off against Khalil Rountree. Following that, the women's bantamweight belt is on the line. Raquel Pennington, Juliana Pena. We also have Jose Aldo, Mario Batista on this card. That is a sneaky little banger right there. Roman Delite, Kevin Holland, and then Ketlin Vieira, Kayla Harrison to round out the main card. I will be honest, this card is weird. It just feels like we have a bunch of kind of odd matchups, starting with the main event. Alex Pereira, Khalil Rountree. I think everybody expected it, and I think the UFC even said after Alex's last win against Yuri that Magomed Ankalaev was going to be next. Magomed's fighting at 308 against Alexander Rakic. I'm not sure if it was a visa issue, if it was a timing issue, or what the case was, but we're getting Khalil Rountree, which stylistically is a more fun matchup, especially in Salt Lake City. So I'm actually more excited for this fight than I would have been had it have been Magomed Ankalaev. The reason I really think this card is weird is because the state of the women's bantamweight division. We had Amanda Nunes vacate the belt. Raquel Pennington fought Mayra Bueno Silva. She was supposed to fight Juliana Pena. Juliana Pena got hurt. She ended up fighting Mayra Bueno Silva, won the belt off of that. But when you have a long reigning champ that was as dominant as Amanda Nunes, it takes a couple defenses of your belt to really feel like there's a new era in a division. So this division just feels wide open. And this is the right matchup, Raquel Pennington and Juliana Pena. But then you have Kayla Harrison, who's really kind of spiced up the division since Amanda Nunes left. Tell me if I'm wrong, but doesn't it kind of feel like Juliana Pena and Raquel Pennington are fighting for the opportunity to fight Kayla Harrison in a weird way? She's not the champ. She's never fought for the belt. She's only been in the UFC for one fight, but it seems like she's kind of holding the top of this division. Granted, Kayla Harrison has to win, but she's a minus 1,000 favorite. I think I'm gonna ride with the Vegas sports books on this. This whole division just feels up in the air. I think we're gonna get a lot of answers from this card, which is good. I think the UFC, if they had their choice, they get Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison, just because of how much trash both those ladies are willing to talk. Raquel is much more reserved, and Juliana's got a tough fight in front of her. Raquel Pennington is sharp, and Juliana Pena, I mean this with the utmost respect, she is like the Dricus du Plessis of the women's bantamweight division. Just her style is so odd. Just like Dricus, like watching the tape on him, you're like, I don't know how this is working. But it is. It's just this kind of forward pressure, big overhands. They love hip tosses. They're both proficient on the ground, but it's ugly. I mean, you put those two silhouettes side by side, I'm not sure you know the difference. And I mean this as a compliment. I mean, Dricus du Plessis is the champion right now. Juliana Pena is fighting for a belt. Watching them, I do not get it, but it fucking works. So it's gonna be a big fight there. The women's bantamweight division, as far as I'm concerned, is absolutely wide open right now. If Raquel can get the win here, she's gonna start cementing herself as that next era of women's bantamweight. But then you got Kayla Harrison assumably coming right behind her. But I want to break down the main event because this is a very fun fight. Alex Pereira facing off against Khalil Rountree. Let's start with Alex Pereira. This guy has quite literally put the UFC on his back this year. And truthfully, since joining the UFC, he has been an absolute superstar. First of all, UFC 300, all the chaos that was that card. Who steps up? Alex Pereira. Take the reign, headline UFC 300. UFC 303, supposed to be Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler. Conor falls out. Who steps up? Alex Pereira. I mean, this guy has quite literally saved the UFC's ass this year. And since joining the light heavyweight division, I mean, just continued his run of slaying champions. Jan Blachowicz, former champion. Beat Yuri twice, former champion. Jamal Hill, former champion. And the last three have been in disgusting fashion. The head kick on Yuri last fight, gross. Jamal Hill knocks him out. Those are fruit. Jan Blachowicz is probably his most competitive fight at this division. Surprisingly enough, it was at Salt Lake City. I don't know how much you can take from that, how much the elevation affected him, but it was a way different style of fight than I assume you're gonna get with Khalil Rountree. Jan was much more focused on taking him down and kind of imposing his will that way. Just in general, how can you not like Alex Pereira? First of all, he's got to be the scariest motherfucker that's ever stepped foot into the octagon. I mean, this guy is so scary. His face-offs are so scary. His octagon presence is so scary. Yuri fought him twice. The second time he fought him, he was convinced he was doing black magic.
He's trying to play something. I saw him in his eyes. what he's doing, some technique. Doesn't matter.
That's how scary it is to stare down Alex Pereira. But then he's seemingly so nice outside of the octagon. His Instagram is hilarious. He's funny. But then when he steps in and that switch flips, I truthfully think he is the most terrifying man in the UFC. That includes John Jones. That includes Tom Aspinall. Alex Pereira is the guy that I would least like to stand across. I think he may kill me. I think they all may kill me, but I think John would do it with his elbows. Tom would do it with his fists. Alex Pereira might wrap his leg around my chin, and I don't know if I wake up again. This guy is terrifying. From the walkout to the stare down, it is cinema every time he steps in the octagon. I cannot help myself but to root for him just because his reign has been so special. But on the flip side, we have Khalil Rountree Jr., who's been on a little bit of a tear himself, winning 5 in a row in pretty devastating fashion. When we talk about Khalil Rountree, this is probably the most technically even stand-up battle that we have for Alex Pereira in this division. Probably the most technical striker he's faced since Israel Adesanya. You think about Yuri Prochazka, he's very unorthodox. You think about Jamal Hill, he's definitely skilled, but you fear more of the power than the technique. Khalil is a straight up savage. Spent a lot of time in Thailand, if I'm not mistaken. He's a Muay Thai specialist. I think this is the closest on paper matchup that you can make in this division, and he's been putting it on guys. Modestas Bukauskas, TKO leg kick in the second round. Carl Robinson, body kick in the second round. He went to a split decision with Dustin Jacoby, knocked out Chris Daukaus in the first round. Chris Daukaus was coming down from heavyweight and then put a beating on Anthony Smith. Had him in trouble a couple times, finally put him out in the third. Khalil Rountree is no joke. It's just hard to root against Alex, and it's also hard to bet against him in his specialty. But like I said, we're in Salt Lake City. I truthfully believe anything can happen. The last 2 times we were in Salt Lake City, we got Leon Edwards, and we got Justin Gaethje headshot dead against Dustin Poirier for the BMF belt. You just never know at elevation. I can guarantee you this will be a banger of a fight, and somebody is not seeing the bell. That's my breakdown. We had a couple weird matchups with some sneaky bangers, and we're gonna really shake out that women's bantamweight division to see what's next. I'm excited overall. Salt Lake City, let's see what you got.
Shama!